Alright, what's up? I'm way behind on these videos, and I apologize again. This one's about passing or presenting as male. The first question is, what are some good tips for passing? I think I just have one good tip because there's other things that I'm going to be saying during the video that's probably a good tip as well, but it applies to the other questions. My one single thing I think is being confident in yourself, carrying yourself with confidence and assurance that you know who you are, because I think that goes a long way in passing. I don't know why or what changes about a person, but I've noticed in myself, especially pre-T and everything, and before I had the binding down, I didn't pass well when I wasn't confident in myself. But when I stopped trying so hard and just carried myself with I don't want to say with respect, but like I deserve to be respected and treated as male, I think it came across a little better to people. So that's like probably my main tip or main good tip. Oh, sorry, I keep moving this camera. There's like no good place to sit this at. What steps did I take to begin passing? I cut my hair was one of the first things I did. Also, I started binding. I used an ace bandage for a while sometimes, but it was hit and miss as to how well I was able to get that to bind, or things would look uneven. Anyway, I did start binding. Started packing sometimes, and just made sure I didn't have clothing that I thought would accentuate any curves or anything, which I got lucky and didn't have a big problem with that, but I know that's a concern for a lot of guys. So anyway, besides that, not a whole lot more. I tried to start deciding on a name so I could introduce myself as Drew whenever possible. Let's see, was there anything you used to help you pass? Yeah, like I said, I used an ace bandage for a while, and then I also used a neoprene back brace, which probably sounds a little painful or weird, but it did help. I did use it successfully a few times, but the only thing is you could see the seams of the brace itself, like under my shirt, so it wasn't really successful. Packers, eventually, after using some homemade methods, purchased one of the packers that's, I think they're like 12 bucks, 15 bucks. The little soft packer. I don't know who makes them or whatever, but started using one of those. Eventually, I started using Underworks binders, which I like Underworks more than any other method I've tried of binding, even though I can honestly say it's still very uncomfortable. I think binding's uncomfortable. What made you choose the products you use, if any? I chose my binder just by the popularity of Underworks amongst the FTM community. Once I heard about them, I went ahead and ordered one for myself, and I've been pleased with the company's products. So just hearing how many other people had used them successfully is what made me choose my binder. Packer, another thing. It was just one of the most popular things I had heard on some of the FTM groups and everything. That was inexpensive, and they had my color in them at that point. I did try a Mr. Right, which I think is like 50 bucks, but it cracked under the shaft after like 2 weeks, so it kind of sucked. The biggest thing about Packers right now for any trans guys of color is that it's hard to find darker skin tones in the Packers now. They don't really make them anymore that are like the little cheaper ones, so that's kind of a bum. I'm not really sure where you can find them at this point. I don't know. What are some things that you should avoid while trying to pass? Probably being over, like, hyper masculine. I mean, if that's your nature, then it won't come across as force. But don't feel like you gotta, like, just be so hardcore alpha male, and it'll come off as kind of forced and scripted, if you will. Also, I think avoid trying to force your voice lower, because it is pretty obvious, I think, especially when you try to force it way lower than what it is. I know it's frustrating pre-T and everything, but be patient. Just work with what you got for right now, but don't force your voice lower. It's really just doesn't work. What form of gender expression do I identify with? I identify as being male. Right now, I still identify as being a trans guy because I'm not done with my transition, but I'm identify as male. So, doesn't transitioning to male mean that you need to be a masculine male? No, I mean there's no rule that says that. I mean, I don't think people should buy into the stereotype. You need to be who you are naturally, and transitioning doesn't change how you carry yourself and things like that. It's just that's a stereotype, and I don't like that. Also, in dropping your feminine traits, no, I mean keep yourself you, because you don't want to lose yourself in the process of trying to fit into society's box of what it means to be male. So no, I don't think so at all. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too much rambling. I hope this helps somebody with passing. If anybody has any questions, I'm always available to answer questions, either through my other channel or whatever. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.